In the summer of 2011, a 19-year-old Brazilian midfielder announced himself to the football world with a stunning achievement that not even the game's greatest legends could claim. Oscar dos Santos Emboaba Jr. became the first player in history to score a hat trick in a FIFA U20 World Cup final, leading Brazil to victory against Portugal. Commentators compared his feat to Jeff Hurst's iconic hat trick in the 1966 World Cup final, the only other player to score three in a World Cup final match of any kind. The football world took notice. Here was Brazil's next creative genius, a worthy heir to the throne of Kaká. Fast forward to 2012, and Oscar was dazzling Premier League audiences with his technical brilliance. His two-goal Champions League debut against Juventus, including a stunning curler that left the legendary Gianluigi Buffon helpless, seemed to confirm his trajectory toward football's elite. Former Brazil coach Luis Felipe Scolari declared, "Oscar has the potential to be one of the world's best players. His vision, skill, and intelligence remind me of the great Brazilian playmakers." Yet just 4 years after arriving in Europe, at age 25, when most elite footballers are entering their prime, Oscar made a decision that shocked the football world. He left the bright lights of Stamford Bridge for the relative obscurity of the Chinese Super League, becoming one of the first global stars to make such a move. This is the story of a generational talent who appeared destined for greatness, but whose career took an unexpected turn. This is the story of Oscar, the Brazilian Wonderkid who seemingly gave up on football's grandest stages. Oscar's journey began like many Brazilian footballers, in poverty. Born in Americana, São Paulo in 1991, Oscar lost his father in a traffic accident when he was just 3 years old. His mother Sueli raised 3 children alone, including Oscar, making clothes to sell in their hometown. "I grew up in poverty and my family had nothing," Oscar would later reveal. This hardship shaped his determination to succeed. After impressing at União Barbarense's youth academy, Oscar joined São Paulo FC, one of Brazil's most prestigious clubs. But his professional journey began with controversy. In 2009, claiming unpaid wages, Oscar took São Paulo to court over contract irregularities. Amidst legal battles, Oscar moved to Internacional, where his talent flourished. He scored 15 goals in 57 appearances, showcasing a rare combination of vision, technique, and tactical intelligence. His performances for Internacional earned him a call-up to Brazil's U20 team for the 2011 World Cup in Colombia. There, Oscar delivered the performance that would define his early career, that historic hat trick against Portugal in the final. Oscar's rise continued at the 2012 London Olympics. He was instrumental in Brazil's silver medal run, forming a formidable partnership with Neymar that offered a tantalizing glimpse of Brazil's future. Every goal in the tournament was either scored or assisted by one of these two prodigies. Chelsea couldn't resist Oscar's talent. In July 2012, the London club paid approximately £25 million to bring the 20-year-old Brazilian to Stamford Bridge. His Champions League debut against Juventus remains the stuff of legend. 2 goals, including that spectacular curling second that left Buffon rooted to the spot. After the match, Oscar reflected, "In Brazil, young boys dream of playing in the Champions League, and I'm very proud to have realized my dream." Eden Hazard, his Chelsea teammate, once said of Oscar, "His technical ability is exceptional. Some of the things he does in training, you just stand and watch. He has eyes in the back of his head." Oscar quickly established himself in Chelsea's creative midfield trio, alongside Juan Mata and Eden Hazard. His work rate and tactical discipline made him a favorite of Jose Mourinho, who built his team around Oscar's playmaking abilities when he returned to the club in 2013. Oscar is the best number 10 in the Premier League. He gives us creativity, but he also gives us incredible work rate. "For me, he is priceless," Mourinho once claimed. During his 4.5 years at Chelsea, Oscar made 203 appearances, scoring 38 goals and providing numerous assists. He won the Premier League twice, the League Cup, and the Europa League. For Brazil, he continued to shine. At the 2014 World Cup on home soil, Oscar scored in the opening match against Croatia and netted Brazil's consolation goal in the devastating 7-1 defeat to Germany. His performances were so impressive that he joined Thiago Silva as one of only 2 Brazilians named in the FIFA team of the tournament. Then came the bombshell. In December 2016, at just 25 years old, Oscar agreed to join Shanghai SIPG, later Shanghai Port, for an Asian transfer record of £60 million. His reported salary, £400,000 per week, making him one of the highest paid footballers in the world. The football world was stunned. A player entering his prime years, playing for one of Europe's elite clubs, chose to move to a league barely on the global football radar. Oscar explained his decision candidly. China has incredible financial power and sometimes makes offers that players can't refuse. He added, "I was more concerned about my family than my own career." By this time, Oscar had married his childhood sweetheart, Ludmila. They had a daughter, Yulia, born in 2014, and a son, Caio, born in 2016. The financial security of his family, something he never had as a child, took precedence over football glory. In China, Oscar's talent remained evident. Over 7 seasons with Shanghai Port, he scored 58 goals in 179 league appearances, helping the club win its first-ever Chinese Super League title in 2018 and adding further championships in 2023 and 2024. In 2019, financial magazine Square Mile reported that Oscar was the 6th highest-paid footballer in the world, a remarkable achievement for a player who had essentially disappeared from elite football's consciousness. Yet Oscar's decision came with profound sporting consequences. His international career effectively ended in 2015 at just 24 years old. In all, he earned 48 caps for Brazil, scoring 12 goals, numbers that could have been significantly higher had he remained in Europe. David Luiz, his former teammate at Chelsea and with Brazil, once remarked, "Oscar has talent that few players in the world possess. His technique, his vision, these are rare gifts. He could have been among the very best in the world." For a nation that has produced Pelé, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, and countless other football icons, Oscar became something of a cautionary tale, the superstar who prioritized financial security over sporting immortality. In December 2024, after 7 years in China, Oscar returned to where it all began, signing a 3-year contract with São Paulo. "I'm happy to be back in Brazil and to be able to play for São Paulo, which is the club where I started out, where I made my base, and where I grew up." Oscar's story challenges our conventional understanding of success in football. Was his move to China a surrender of ambition or a pragmatic choice by a young man who had experienced poverty and insecurity? In his own words, "I love Shanghai, but it's just too far away from home for us. We can't stay here forever." Oscar chose family over fame, financial security over footballing legacy. In a sport that often demands singular focus and sacrifice, perhaps there's something refreshingly human about Oscar's priorities. The Brazilian Wonderkid who became the first player to score a hat-trick in a U20 World Cup final, who dazzled at Chelsea, who once seemed destined to join the pantheon of Brazilian greats, chose a different path. As Oscar writes the final chapters of his career back in Brazil, his story remains a fascinating study in choices and consequences. Did Oscar give up on football's grandest ambitions? Perhaps. But in choosing his own definition of success, maybe he found something more valuable than footballing immortality.